Okay, first of all, I just want to thank someone for buying me a coffee. Thank you so much. He or she didn't write their name. They just wrote someone, so a secret supporter. Thank you so much. And I really want to emphasize how grateful I am for all the support that you're giving me, buying me coffees and watching the videos, liking and subscribing. It really means a lot, and also giving me inspiration to keep on producing these videos. So thank you so much. Cheers. Be Like Ceramics asks, Mike, what's most important for the muscle up, strength or technique? Thank you so much for your question, Be Like Ceramics. It's a very good question actually, and the ratio for strength and technique changes over time. So when you are a beginner, strength is much more important than technique. Even if you have perfect technique and like no strength, you won't be able to get over the bar. So in the beginning, it's crucial to get strong and get explosive. And how do you do that? My way of doing that, teaching that, is training your muscle ups 2 to 3 times per week. Like Greg told us in his last comment, for him it works training muscle ups 3 times per week. My general advice is 2 times per week, but of course that differs from person to person, how fast you recover and so on. But for the beginner, 2 muscle up like sessions per week is perfect. For instance, 1 muscle up session can be you're working with the green resistance band, and the goal is to do 5 reps for 3 sets. When you can do 5 reps for 3 sets, you move on to the purple band, 5 reps for 3 sets, and then the black band, then the red band. And as Jake told us in his recent comment, when he could do 5 reps for 3 sets with the red band, he had 3 good form bodyweight muscle ups. So that is the route to go, but you also need to know the technique to be able to get over the bar with resistance bands. And there are only 2 things that are important in the beginning, technique wise, and that is this. First technique tip that you need to know as a beginner is timing. Timing is most of the time off when we're starting our muscle up journey, just because of lack of experience. You don't want to pull too late or too early. Either of those will make the muscle up very hard or impossible for a beginner. In the more advanced stages, you can play around more with different pull-up timings. But as a beginner, we often do this mistake. We are pulling too early here, and that will get us stuck under the bar. That is the most common timing mistake. And the other timing mistake is pulling too late. It's not that common, but you're waiting too long to pull up. So you're about here before you start pulling up. And that will also get you stuck under the bar. So you have to find the sweet spot. And the sweet spot is often that you want to pull up around here. When you're parallel with the poles, that's when you want to pull up. If you're used to pulling too early, just wait a little bit more. You want to start pulling up as you start going back into the swing. And that looks like this. So a small swing forward and about here. So that is the correct pull-up timing, and we usually learn that quite quick. And the other technique tip that we need to know as a beginner is to throw your chest forward. So all you need to know is the timing and throwing your chest forward. When you nail the timing and don't throw your chest forward, it's very hard to push up, because a straight muscle up, when you're not throwing your chest forward, is tricep dominant. So you're only pushing up from your triceps like this, and it's very hard, and it's not the goal right now, especially not in the beginning. So you just want to nail that pull-up timing and throw your chest over the bar, and that will often land you in a half muscle up. And also, as an extra tip, we don't want a large swing. Sometimes we think that a large swing will make the muscle up easier, but it won't. We want a small swing forward, and we want to pull as close to the bar as possible. So we don't want a swing like this, and we don't want to pull from dead hang like this. Both of them will make the muscle up very hard. So a small swing forward, pull up when you're parallel to the bar, and throw your chest forward. That's it. As a beginner, that's it. So I'll demonstrate that. So small swing forward, pull up and throw. And you can either choose to just do the half muscle up and come down, or do the full muscle up. So I would say that in the beginning, it's like 80% strength and 20% technique. So if you're doing those 2 or 3 technique tips, that's all you need to know. And then just work band by band until you reach the red band for 5 reps and 3 sets. Something around there, and then you'll have the strength for a kind of strict muscle up. Because if you are teaching your body this technique from the beginning and don't rely on kipping, we don't have to unlearn the kip later on. So the way I teach the muscle up is with correct technique from the beginning: minimal swing, minimal kip, having patience, work band by band, and then finally you will reach your bodyweight muscle up. And from there you want 2 consecutive muscle ups in a row, 3, 4, 5, and then oftentimes you want to add weight, and yeah, The journey is kind of endless and the most fun journey. I hope that helps. Mike, thank you for your wonderful coaching and including my journey in your video. Yeah, if you haven't seen the latest video, it starts with Jake's journey going from 0 to 3 bodyweight muscle ups. One more thing I can mention. If anyone is wondering how the red band translates to bodyweight muscle ups, in my case, I can now do about 3 sets of 5 with the red band before I have to switch to the black band. Yeah, that's really interesting to hear and just confirms my own findings. When they reach your level, 5 reps for about 3 to 5 sets with the red band, they definitely have a clean bodyweight muscle up or more actually. So thanks for your comment, Jake. So a comment from Man Don't Care 192 says, I'm still stuck with a banded muscle up. Yeah, I feel you. I mean, so the journey is often longer than we think it would be because we compare ourselves with others. And for some people, they got the muscle up very quick. So we think we're doing something wrong, but most of the time we're not doing something wrong. For some of us, including me, it just takes longer than we think it will. But I give out all the information I have in my videos, so you can find a lot of information in those. But if you still want more help, I also have muscle up coaching. If you want more personal advice tailored to you, you can just email me. My mail is in the description below. And good luck on your journey. You'll get it soon. Just don't give up and you'll get it. And I don't really know how my workout is gonna be today. I haven't had a deload for some time and my body starts to feel a little bit beat up, a little bit jointy. So I either do that or I'll do a normal workout, weighted ladder and bodyweight pyramid, or I'll just do a nice and slow technique training today. So it all depends on how the warm-up will feel. And that is why I think the warm-up is so important for me, because I can have a plan going into the workout. But during and after the warm-up, I always feel what direction my workout will take. And as usual, I will do a 5 to 10 minute general warm-up. I won't film that because that might be kind of boring for you to watch. Or what do you think? Should I include my general warm-up in these videos or just skip it? Tell me in the comments. And then I will move on to my resistance band muscle up warm up, going through a few reps with the purple, a few reps with the black, and then the first body weight. And after that, I will know what direction I will go. All right, a sip of coffee, and then let's get started. All right, first rep of the day, purple band. Okay, 1 or 2 more with the purple band. All right, moving on to the black band. Okay, so far the warm-up actually feels good. I don't feel so much soreness as I thought I would, but I will really know after the first bodyweight muscle up. So I don't usually do this. I usually just go from purple to black and then bodyweight. But today I just feel like doing 1 with the red band to bridge the gap a little bit more between the red and bodyweight. But it's like when I step on this red band, it feels like it's not giving any assistance whatsoever. Okay, the first bodyweight muscle up for today. And after this, I'll decide which of those paths I want to go. One more. Okay, because I feel semi-good, I will start the muscle up ladder with some weights. And I'll just see along the way how I feel, if I have to change anything. But that bodyweight muscle up felt good. So I'll just continue with the weighted muscle up ladder, 1 rep with 2 kilos on. So if you're filming your muscle up attempts, which I strongly recommend that you do to be able to improve your technique, is to always film from the side. This angle is okay. I would prefer like straight from the side, but there's a bush right there, so I can't really do it. But this angle is okay, because then you really see how much you're kipping, how much swing you have, and you can compare it more easily to your improved attempts where you swing a little bit less, kip a little bit less, and so on. All right, 1 muscle up with 2 kilos. Continuing to feel kind of good, so I added 2 kilos more, 4 kilos in total, 1 rep. Okay, so I added 2 kilos, a total of 6 kilos, 1 rep. Okay, so that 6 kilo muscle up felt okay-ish. The technique felt good and everything, but as I said in the beginning of the video, I feel a little bit jointed. And when you're doing weighted stuff, it's more taxing on the joints. But I think my max today will be an 8 kilo muscle up. So I'll just rest for a while, have a coffee, and then let's see what happens. Alright, 8 kilos are on. This will be the last rep of this weighted muscle up ladder. And let's see what I do after this. Either this will be the end of the workout, or I'll do the bodyweight muscle up pyramid. Let's see. Okay guys, so I decided to drop the weights to 4 kilos and focus the rest of the workout on technique training. But a tip that I want to give you, that I just thought of, is how wide you grip the bar. If you grip the bar like shoulder width apart, like this, you have to pull a little bit higher to be able to transition over the bar. If your grip is shoulder width apart and a little bit wider, you don't have to pull as high to transition. But it basically comes down to where you feel most explosive. If you're more explosive here, it doesn't really matter if you have to pull a little bit further to get over the bar. But for me, I feel a little bit more explosive around here. And that also makes it easier for me to transition because I don't have to pull as high. So that's something that you can try out and play around with. So what kind of grip do you use when you're doing your muscle ups? Do you like the shoulder width apart grip or a little bit wider? Tell me in the comments. Right guys, so I have my 4 kilo ankle weights on, and as I said, I'm going to do some technique training, and I walk you through the different technique aspects. In this rep, I will have a completely relaxed core, and that will give me a little bit of an arch. I will have my grip a little bit wider than shoulder width, and when I'm pulling up, I will focus on covering my armpits as fast as I can, and that will give me a very close bar path, which is also very efficient. So that looks like this. This rep, I will use another kind of technique. I will grip the bar shoulder width, not like this, but shoulder width. And then I will start off with a slow pull about here and then explode from there. You might not be able to see that, but that's the intention. So a 70% of my power until here, and then exploding up the rest over the transition. Okay, so I'm realizing that these are very subtle technique cues, but this is how you find your own technique and where you feel where you're the most powerful. To compare these two techniques, when you're pulling with 100% from the bottom, your legs will flare out a little bit more. If you're pulling a little bit more slow in the beginning and then explode, your legs will follow your body more and don't flare out as much. But as I said, this is more like tiny technical things, but for you it might be a big difference. So please try them out and tell me what you think in the comments. So for this one, I will use the same technique as the last one. I will pull to about 90 degrees and then explode over the bar. But the only difference is I will go from this grip to this grip. All right, and in this one, my only focus will be to throw my chest over the bar. And I'll use a shoulder width apart grip. So I drop the weights, continuing with body weight, using a little bit wider grip. No matter what technique you choose, pick the one that feels safest. So what I mean by that is choose your technique that kind of keeps you nice and tight. And what I mean by nice and tight is, so when we're pulling, we want our arms to be as close to the body as possible. We don't want to be pulling out here because then you increase the risk of injury a lot. Try to keep everything nice and tight, as close to the bar as possible, throwing your chest forward as soon as possible, and don't flare out. Don't chicken wing. Any movement that goes out from the body is a potential injury, I would say. So experiment with your technique, and please let me know in the comments what technique works best for you. Because the thing is, if you already said what works best for you in another comment to me, it always changes. Like for me, I'm always refining my technique, finding new small ways to make the muscle up more efficient, more powerful. So let me know in the comments what muscle up technique works best for you. What's your most recent key that unlocked maybe a little bit cleaner one or a heavier one or anything like that? Please comment below. Okay, so let me start the discussion by explaining what works best for me right now. So the cues that I'm thinking about when I'm doing a muscle up right now and what actually feels most efficient is hanging from the bar, not shoulder width apart, but a little bit outside that, a little bit wider, a small swing forward, a natural arch. When I'm pulling up, the feeling is that I'm pulling up from my armpits. I'm covering my armpits and keeping the pulling tension all the way into the dip. So I'm not just pulling here, then losing tension, throwing my chest forward. I'm keeping the tension all the way from here to here. So that's what I'm gonna do right now. And I'll show you from this angle as well. So not here, but here. And keep my arms as close to the body as possible. They will come out a little bit at the top position, but it's not here. And of course also throwing my chest over the bar. I think this angle can be kind of cool as well. Okay, I actually crammed the camera into a bush right now, so I can show you this angle as well. This is the most honest angle. This is the best angle to improve your technique, to know what you're doing in your muscle up, if you want to be closer to the bar, if you're too far away, and all of that. And if you want to join my muscle up coaching, this is the angle where I prefer you send me all the videos in. That will just make the progress faster and you will get better results. All right, so one more.